Welcome to Detangle, where we untangle the complexities of life, one conversation at a time. I'm your host, Dr. Kinjal Goel, a psychologist and a writer. Our guest today is Mr Mahesh Bhagwat ji, ADGP, CID, Telangana. His presence on Detangle is made even more special by the fact that he completed his BE in Civil Engineering from Pune before getting an LLB from Osmania University, Hyderabad. Although the list of Sir's accomplishments and awards is strikingly long, I shall name just a few recent ones. Sir was awarded the President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service on the occasion of Independence Day 2022. In 2018, he received the award for 2018 IACP Leadership in Human and Civil Rights for his work in helping migrant Orissa children rescued from brick kilns. His specialized trainings and postings are star studded as well. Beyond this, Mr. Bhagwat has been a part of so many publications too. He enjoys theatre and music on a personal level. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining me on Detangle today.
Yeah, thank you, Kinjal, for inviting me.
So, there are lots of questions I'm sure that our audiences have. There are lots of questions that I have because the kind of work that you are doing at the helm of CID, at the helm of police, you notice emotions, you work with emotions at a very deep level. So, let's get started. Sir, tell us
Yes,
about your journey. What got you to be interested in police service? How did it all begin for you?
see, as I have done my BE from Pune in 1990.
Right.
After that, I was working for almost 3.5 years for rural development, watershed development in and around Pune with the
Hmm.
NGO, then with Tata Motor for CSR activity. And simultaneously, I was preparing for the civil services. And 1994, I resigned my Tata Motor job and full-fledged. Then I have done my preparation in State Institute for Administrative Career, Mumbai, in front of which is that is Maharashtra Government Institute. And that year, 1995, I got a interview call and I got selected for Indian Police Service. But that was not my target actually. My first preference was for IAS. So again, I appeared, but I couldn't succeed. So 1996, finally, I joined my IPS. And while preparing, there were many uh, people who have helped me in my
Mhm.
struggle period. And that's the reason today also I'm continuing my passion of mentoring the aspirants for civil services, for forest services, and for Central Armed Police Forces Assistant Commandant job. All these exams conducted by UPSC, and we help them for interview preparation. So my background basically is from rural Maharashtra. Till
Mhm.
10th class, I studied in Jila Parishad school first in Marathi medium, then in the high school there in a place called Pachhardi, that is a drought-prone taluka of Ahmednagar district in Maharashtra. Then in 1984, for doing my 11th, I came to Pune, SP College. Then College of Engineering, Pune, I have done my civil engineering. So that's my journey.
Lovely. Sir, you have been in service for so many years. You have been at the helm of police service for now decades. What would you say has been your biggest learning from so many years in service?
See, initially I work in a disturbed area of insurgency affected Manipur for 2 years.
Mhm.
And that was pick up the insurgency that time, 97 to 99 I was there. And it was a very difficult time for us because that part was still the people from the mainland of India, they used to identify like from the outside type. And um, but we from All India Services officers, couple of us, we were working there. And uh, uh, it was a day of 95th of 25th of January
Mhm.
99, where one of my best friend, 94 batch IS, he was the director of tourism that time. And he was shot dead by an insurgent in his office. So
Oh.
that incident has really, and we got disturbed, whether to continue in this state to work for um, the people there or not. And Then couple of us, uh, fortunately, we got married and the administrative ground. Then we came out of Manipur, and 99. Then I joined Andhra Pradesh cadre, and
Mhm.
after 2014, when the separate Telangana was formed, I become part of Telangana cadre. So all these years of service, so one thing I learned is the proactive or preemptive policing, and
Okay.
people oriented or policing kind of thing, to go to the grassroots level, learn from
Mhm.
the people, consult them, because they are the stakeholder. We have to deliver services to them. And policing is not a scheme coming from say Delhi. It's basically the grassroots problems that we should understand what people want, and accordingly, according to their felt needs, we should reorient our policing. And so participative policing kind of thing that I learned. And
Mhm.
I always go to the grassroots of issue, rather than uh, we say that superficial kind of thing, or firefighting, we always say in policing,
Right.
firefighting. So that kind of policing I'm not liking. So that गालिब का एक शेर है ना, कि उम्र भर गालिब यही गलती करता रहा,
Hmm.
धूल चेहरे पे थी आईना साफ करता रहा.
Wow.
So that, तो आईना साफ करके यहाँ कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. That we should find out what is the real problem and try to solve that problem. So in my beginning of my service, when I was in Naxalite affected Adilabad district in Andhra Pradesh that time, now in Telangana, there also we launch a program with two-pronged strategy. That is a interior area development on one hand, and action-oriented policing on other hand. And through that, we control Naxalism. The strength of Naxalite for that particular district, which was 180 when I joined, came to 20 when I left that district.
Oh, wow.
So many surrenders were there, their rehabilitation, then a couple of arrests and other field encounters. And then we have solved there the basic problem like electricity to the village, drinking water issues also with the help of district administration. And there were permanent solution to those issues. So people were also happy. And that's the reason they trusted the government, because of the good governance. So policing from the beginning for me, and I have taken it like a developmental kind of a policing approach. Yeah,
That's very interesting, sir, because in medicine, we always say prevention is better than cure. And that's exactly what you're doing in terms of law and order. You're preventing crimes instead of just firefighting and curing one problem as it arises.
you are right. Uh, in policing nowadays, you might have seen that this AI now,
Yes.
yes, and so the predictive policing is there, and now from the other countries, certain best practices like we have hotspots or the broken window theory, which was used in New York by Bill Bratton, the then police commissioner. Twice he was commissioner in 94 and again in 2014. And
Hmm.
he has controlled the situation of New York through that broken window theory. So broken window theory says that when the problem is small, you should fix it. So
Hmm.
that theory also now we are using here, so that because when two people are say fighting on the road, and if we are not pacifying them, tomorrow it may become a murder. Tomorrow it may become there may be a communal situation. Two communities are gathering and fighting and all. So small issues now we have to solve in the beginning only, so
Hmm.
that they may not become big. So that then identify the hotspots, hot routes where the crime is more, concentrate more on that area. So that is another approach in policing now we are using nowadays.
There's so much technology, there's so much
Yeah.
technicality behind your work. This is something the common man never sees. We are not even aware that there is so much theory, there is so much psychological profiling, finding hotspots. There's a lot that is going on in the background.
You're right. Actually, the common man come to police only when something happens. Otherwise, many times that uh, anti-establishment or the hearsay theories about policing, because policing has come from the British period. So
Hmm.
still people have the habit of looking negatively towards the police. But a lot of changes are there now in the policing. And those who, in our survey says, those who approach police, they have better experience, and they speak loudly about the changes in policing than those who have not come across police nowadays. So that change
Very
is definitely,
interesting. Really interesting.
especially in the
So, mm-hmm.
COVID period, a lot of things police we have done, and including the disposal of dead bodies also, because people were not coming forward to take their own relatives' bodies, and then according to their religion, we have given the, um, we have taken them and done the final rites and sent videos, pictures to people. That kind of job also we have done during the
True.
COVID period.
Something
Yet,
that nobody was prepared for,
yes,
somebody nobody had trained you for.
yes,
True. Sir, I have seen a lot of your work and I have seen a lot of your work being applauded in the zone of mentoring aspirants, like you said, for IPS exams. I think this is one of the most prolific things that you have done, and I have been very intrigued by it when I read about it. Very few people can give so much and so consistently to the next generation. I would love to know more about this and how does this process work? How is it going now?
yeah. See, in 2014, 15, like that, we started helping the aspirant of civil services who are preparing for IAS, IPS, then foreign service and other exams.
Mhm.
And luckily that time the WhatsApp groups and all started. So that has helped us in approaching the candidates and making groups of them on WhatsApp and then mentoring them online.
Mhm.
Then a couple of my friends also joined me, the like-minded people. And then nowadays, it has all become, now we have different groups, groups for civil services, group for Indian Forest Service, group for CAPF. And our special focus is on personality test or interview only. The initial prelims and mains, many classes are available, and people taking benefit of those classes. But the final stage, that is the interview stage and all, it requires a little extra preparation. And the people who are in service, plus
Mhm.
couple of professionals, subject professionals, they have also joined us. So we help candidate online. Here in Hyderabad, candidate come directly also. So every candidate who is approaching us, uh, we are working on their detailed application form, or like, it's like a biodata, and what kind of questions he or she can expect in the exam. So exam oriented preparation will be there, and all the resources will be given to that candidate by us. It's all free of cost. It's a giving back to society. So it all started in 2014-15, and last year 2000, that is a 2022 exam, now 23. This year the result has come.
Hmm.
So we got 187 candidates out of say around 800 something in all India. In that all India topper Ishita Kishore also.
Wow.
She was mentored by us. Then all India number 4 also. So many candidates are there, and candidates from very humble background like Jammu Kashmir or Northeast also. People are approaching us online. We have not seen their face also, or
How
not met
nice.
them. It's online only mostly. So that we are helping every year, and only point is they should also give back to society from the area where they are coming. They should help the communities there, the,
I'm
the
sure.
people who are downtrodden and all, and they should create awareness about the preparation. That's only our expectation. And in service, we are expecting that they should help the society. So that giving back attitude, that's only expectation.
It's so powerful because when it goes from one hand to the other and the other to the next, you're generating a whole wave of change. It doesn't stop with you or the next person. I hope it just keeps going as one, as you said, one person does it for the next does it for the next, and we create this whole movement of positivity.
Yes, this is a movement of positivity, and this movement is increasing day by day. So as on today, more than 2,000 candidates, they are in services who are mentored by us.
Fantastic. So, the other thing that I have been reading a lot about you is your phenomenal work with rescuing victims of sex trafficking. It's a very intense field, but you have done so much work in it. Can you shed some light upon your experience?
See, it all started in 2004. So after working initially for community policing in Naxalite affected area, I
Mm-hmm.
got posted as a deputy commissioner of police in Cyberabad, that is a high-tech city part of Hyderabad.
Mm-hmm.
And there, one day I got information about some organized prostitution going on with girls from Kolkata, Mumbai in one of the resort in this Cyberabad. And then we conducted raid there. We rescued around 19 girls. Then I realized this is a serious problem. Girls are getting trafficked for the commercial sexual exploitation, and there are traffickers, brokers who are living on the earnings from them. So I started learning more about that. Here in Hyderabad, we have one non-government organization by name Prajwala, founded by
Mm-hmm.
the Dr. Sunita Krishnan. So she has guided me initially. And 2005 and 6, I was superintendent of police in Nalgonda district in then Andhra Pradesh, now in Telangana, where a place called Yadgirigutta, there was a red light area. And I found the particular community by name Dumara, the third generation women into prostitution. So
Oh.
we, with the help of district administration, civil societies, corporate, we brought them out. Rehabilitation was offered to them. Their children under Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan school was started, and we took stern action against the trafficker and controlled that prostitution in that area. So that project was awarded in America in 2006 in Boston with Law Enforcement Award and Human Rights Protection Award. Then after that, I got posted as Superintendent of Police of Women Protection Cell in
Mm-hmm.
CID in Hyderabad, and there, fortunately, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, they started pilot project on trafficking in 5 states. So Andhra Pradesh was one of the states, and the first anti-human trafficking unit was started in Hyderabad in CID only under my leadership. And uh, uh, taking the leadership, then we started raiding the red light areas. I personally raided in Delhi, Mumbai, Bhiwandi, Pune,
Mm-hmm.
Bangalore brothels also, and we rescued more than 1,000 women and children that time. And that time we started documenting also. So a couple of books published by United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and MHA. We also part of that in getting the case studies and all. Then I continued my journey in 2009, become the Deputy Inspector General of Police in Eluru range of West Godavari, East Godavari, Krishna districts of Koktala, Andhra Pradesh, where that was a source area for trafficking, from where the victims were taken to Singapore, Malaysia, Gulf
Acha.
countries for trafficking. So there I can focus more on the trafficking, rescued even the girls from abroad also that time. And then in 2016, I become the police commissioner of Rachkonda in Hyderabad, which is a Ramoji Film City, this area. That was a
Mm-hmm.
new commissioner. So 6.5 years I was commissioner. So in that period, then we focus more on sex trafficking as well as the labor trafficking, organ trafficking, almost all forms of trafficking I worked. And in 2017, because of the work, the America government, US Department of State, they are honored with the Trafficking in Person Report Hero Award from the US Department of State. And the 2018, our worksite schools for the children rescued from the brick-ins in Odia language, because their parents, these Odia migrant workers from Odisha, they come every year in the season to
Mm-hmm.
prepare the bricks and again go back. So the children, they suffer because of the studies, lack of study, and they also forced to work in the bricking. So we started the seasonal schools in Odia language from
Oh.
2017 here in Hyderabad. And as on today, around 7,000 students got benefited. And after going back, they go to higher class there in Odisha. They get integration certificate. Also, very recently, this project also got awarded with the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce Smart Policing Award also. So, and then organ trafficking also, like kidney transplantation, inter-country racket from India to Turkey, we busted. We arrested a couple of people in that racket also. That case is still under trial.
Oh.
Then in the sex trafficking, in that commissionerate of Rajkunda, around 195 brothels we have sealed down. Many people, we have detained them. Then now we are working on the convictions in these cases, that where the trial is going on. Plus, we offered rehabilitation to the victims of trafficking. So that's all things are going on the human trafficking as a. See, this trafficking as such is a second largest organized crime in the world after the drugs trade. And so,
Really?
$150 billion trade, and it's neglected most of the time. There is no priority many times. But when the young girls below 18 years, they are getting exploited. It's like a rape only, because buying sex from minor amounts to rape, and there will not be issue of consent is not there. So in
Mm.
that situation, we have to definitely intervene, rescue them, rehabilitate them, and take stern action against those people who are into these organized networks. Our neighboring countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, from there also victims keep coming to many states in India, and even small girls are coming. So timely we have to intervene and help them in the rescue and their repatriation. So in all this process, we take help of civil societies, government department like Women and Child Development Department, Ministry of External Affairs also. Then of course our law enforcement, along with police, prosecution, and judiciary, they also play an important role. So what we say, that there is a synergy among stakeholders that is now helping us in prevention of human trafficking.
Amazing. So there's so much depth in your work. I'm sure it's very emotionally draining also. But what is the hardest part for you emotionally about your work?
So many times we see that it difficult to completely stop these practices,
Mm.
because alternative to given to the victim many times not matching with their lifestyle and all, and sometimes there's a delay in the rescue. They are in many years in the profession, so society also not ready to accept them. So we call it in our terms like a normalization of exploitation. So the victims also start thinking that they are born for this purpose only, and sometimes these victims they like towards those pimps or broker, because they also take care of them. They develop some kind of a Stockholm syndrome also, so
Mm.
don't want to leave them, because they think that no family man will or women will support them outside society, will not accept them. That's the main problem.
And so, what has been the most satisfying part of your service?
See, there are many moments, satisfactory moment, as I told you, that on many fronts we are working. So whenever we get the desired result, that day become the satisfactory result. Nowadays, mostly we are working on the cases where those sensational cases, when we get conviction of the offender,
Mm.
that also is quite satisfying. Just last week only, there was a case of honor killing in interfaith marriage, and those two accused who have killed the husband of that lady, so they got the life imprisonment punishment. And then so this kind of thing, then sometimes the exam results when it's coming, and our candidates when they are extremely doing well,
Oh,
so that's
yes.
so like a happy moment for us, because we're not expecting anything from anyone. So their result itself is like quite satisfaction, gives a lot of satisfaction to us. And again, we start reworking for the next batch.
How nice. So, sir, there must be a lot of psychological profiling that you do for criminals or for even preventing the next criminal targeted act. So, do you think AI will play an important role in the future for this?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I will definitely play in future. And nowadays, see, crime also is changing
Hmm.
because of the AI, and because of now say the cyber crime has become is overtaking many other crimes now. volume of cybercrime is very, very, very high, and we are not yet prepared actually to tackle cybercrime because it is say it's not related or confined to one particular area.
True.
It's a globally spread phenomena now, and the criminals are sitting somewhere in abroad and committing crime. So to reach up to them, to get them, is very, very difficult many times. So whatever now we are doing is like a tip of iceberg only in this case, and more efforts are required. Luckily, now government of India has started this India Center for Coordination of Cybercrime (I4C), and there are now helplines like 1930 whenever there is a cybercrime. So any victim can dial, and when the financial fraud is there, there are options like in IVR. So there, then those, if anyone is losing the money, that bank account where the money is going get freeze, and chances of you are getting back money are high. Similarly, other kind of cybercrime also, this helpline is working. There is a national cybercrime reporting portal for controlling this kind of crime now. So
Acha.
the police as such is a state subject, and we are confined to our state. But criminals are not having boundary. That's a
Hmm.
big issue now. So how to get those people who are sitting across our international border and committing crime here? So that's now the major challenge for all of us.
True. So, how do you handle this? How do you handle the intensity of the emotional demands of your own job? I mean, how do you de stress? How do you relax? How do you unwind?
One way I'm lucky that whole day I'll be energetic, and
Hmm.
at the end of day, whenever I sleep within 5 minutes, I'll be going to bed.
Hmm.
So my sleep is a sound sleep, and whenever I get some time, so like a passion, like I like sometime listening to the music, attending some the cultural program online sometimes or offline also, and know what's happening. Because of the civil services mentoring also, every day I have to start my day with reading important news and sharing with the candidates. So that is a like a routine for me nowadays. So
Hmm.
at least two newspaper, Hindu and Indian Express, that we scan in the morning, and we'll be sharing the related articles with the candidate. Then weekend, of course, we get some time free for us. So that time, again, uh, like uh, attending some cultural programs and all. Plus, I have my pet, a
Oh,
golden retriever. So that's also another stress buster for us.
absolutely.
Yeah.
How lovely. So, let me ask you a question that I ask all my guests on the podcast. We all know that we need a first aid box in the house, right? With some band aids, maybe a painkiller, some antiseptic lotion. What if we were to keep a mental first aid box? A box where you could keep things that make you happy as soon as you see them. You know, some photographs, maybe some chocolate, maybe some songs. So, if you were to make this box, what would you put in your mental first aid box?
I think the first thing is you should open. You should have someone to tell what happened. Maybe you are near and dear in the family or some friends and all.
Hmm.
So that nowadays this networking, era of networking. So maybe your school friends, maybe your college friends, maybe those uh, good friends who have
Hmm.
become of late in service and all. Or in, so have someone to share what's wrong, or ventilation is very, very important, I think.
Hmm.
So if we keep confining with ourselves, then it's like that iceberg, na? It's
Hmm.
like the mental illness will be there. You
Hmm.
can't see what's happening, but something is seriously wrong, and sometimes this um, you may um, the your personality outburst may be there. Sometimes we say like in psychology, or schizophrenic or hysteria
Hmm.
kind of thing and all, divided personality or split personality, and depression kind of things and all. So what I think that whoever having issues related to stress and all, they should have some kind of hobby or some kind of mechanism to vent it out first. Yeah.
Hmm. Well said. So, as you know, I'm a psychologist. So, before we wrap up the podcast, I leave the floor open for my guest to ask me a question. So, is there something that you want to ask me as a psychologist?
Uh, Nowadays, this what you say about psychological profiling and all, uh, it's very difficult actually. We are not knowing
Mm.
what is going on in the mind of a human being unless he or she do some overact. Okay, you can't.
Mm.
The face there is no face value for anyone to know that uh, how that person is going to behave unless that behavioral experiences are there. So, are there some tools where and, through that person's behavior in general, normal behavior day to day, or through his handwriting or through his general talk also, we can draw some inferences where yes, we can, yes, this person is having some issues and we should take certain precautions or we should help him in coming out of that like that. So, do you
So,
have some
sir,
tools for that?
like you rightly said, a lot of crime has moved online. So, a lot of profiling is also now being done online. There are some very good algorithms being developed where you can look at a person's social media or any kind of internet activity, including browsing history, including YouTube activity, and you can make a profile of whether or not that person is either at risk himself or herself or has a higher chance of committing a crime. Once we are able to get better algorithms online, we'll be able to better track down criminals online because, like you very, very rightly pointed out, it's no longer confined to a person you meet. You may never meet the criminal, but the crime is being committed. So, right now, the focus of profiling is completely digital, even in psychology.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Definitely, that can help us. But still, there are criminals.
Oh,
Uh,
yes, absolutely.
they do the professional traditional crimes. They are
So,
not
for
at
that,
all
there are
cyber.
no, so for that, there are a lot of psychologists who are trained. I think this also has to start at a very basic level. Like you are starting training IPS officers before they even appear for their exam in
Correct,
doing the
correct.
right thing. We need more courses in psychology. We need more courses in criminal psychology. All these courses so far were abroad. And when you go and study the psychology of, let's say an American criminal, very, you can't apply most of it to an Indian criminal. Nowadays, a
Mhm.
lot of colleges are offering these courses even in the Indian context in India. This will make a difference because people will now be trained in a very culture fair context.
See, one more problem now in India is the lack of clinical psychologists. The
Hmm,
number is very, very less, and the problem is increasing.
true.
So that's another challenge that
Oh,
um,
yes. We're seeing it all the time, sir.
mhm.
So, what happens is when we raise awareness, we stop at one point because awareness is raised, but where is the solution? We need to be able to provide that kind of manpower, that kind of trained professionals to be able to take care of the awareness that we have raised. So, I think that is step two that we need to cover now.
See, here now we are facing problems for the de-addiction counseling for the
Mm.
drugs, especially nowadays. The the menace of drugs, and now even mobile addiction also small children. So
Yes.
hardly any de-addiction counselors are available now. That's a big issue. Um, I I think there should be more number of those people, uh, especially opting now these courses and helping the community uh, who are into this kind of problem.
True. I think, sir, one of the major learnings for me from our conversation today is that there cannot be any success if a person is working completely alone. There has to be synergy between different fields. There has to be a multidisciplinary approach, even if it is a hardened criminal. Like you said, there has to be rehabilitation provided if it is a
Correct.
sex trafficking victim.
Yeah.
There has to be psychological profiling if there is a crime or a criminal which needs to be apprehended. So there's so much that goes into law and order. There is so much that goes into law enforcement. It's not just the power, it is the responsibility that you have brought out so well in this interview. That you're not just working from a place of power, you're working from a place of predicting preventing, and then helping in a way that hopefully nobody will know what you have done, so that that big crime has been prevented and people are sleeping peacefully in their homes because the crime never happened.
Yes, let us pray for crime-free society. Yeah.
Absolutely, sir. So, with people like you at the helm of law and order, I think we are very close to achieving the synergy between police and law, lay people at least. I've also noticed this. I've noticed this in society. People are now more willing to take a step, more willing to approach the police. Things are changing and things are changing in the right direction. So, well, all the best to you and more power to you and your entire force so that you continue to do what you're doing. And I'm so glad you're being applauded and appreciated for your hard work. I think it's tremendous. Thank you so much, sir, for taking the time and for being a part of Detangle. Thank you for sharing your experience and knowledge with us, and more power to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Kinjal, for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot.